want to look ahead to what the new year holds. Everything from your money to health, sports, and entertainment. And we'll start this morning with politics. The campaigning already well underway for November's midterm elections. Kristen Welker is the moderator of Meet the Press. Kristen, good morning. Happy New Year. I love how we always meet on this day.
Happy New Year. I love our reunion on this day.
So it's just about the first anniversary of Trump's second term in office. How do you assess how he's doing? How are voters feeling about his performance?
Great question. Look, President Trump himself, Savannah gives himself an AAA on his handling of the economy.
Plus.
Yes. And it keeps on going. But voters have a more mixed reaction and opinion of how he's done on the economy, which, let's be honest, is still the top issue for voters. 63% say they disagree with his handling of the economy. And Savannah, if you think about this moment that we are in, we are heading towards the midterms. This issue of affordability is going to be front and center. President Trump has at times dismissed it as a Democratic hoax. At other times has said, look, this was created by former President Biden. Things are going to be getting better in the new year. His advisors say so. That is something to watch for, certainly what happens to prices and the cost of living in the new year. But some Republicans privately say they want him to be laser focused on the economy. Will he be? We know he has been focused on his foreign policy agenda. He obviously helped to broker that ceasefire agreement in the Middle East. He certainly sees that as a big win. How will all of this play in the midterms?
Well, I mean, that's the question. When voters go to the ballot box in 2026 is really the first national scale assessment of how voters are feeling about the various parties. And what are the indications right now?
Here's what's interesting, and we're watching a couple of key races, particularly as it relates to the Senate. We're watching states like Georgia, Michigan, North Carolina, just to name a few. Democrats feel like they are finally starting to find their footing, but the key word there, Savannah, is starting to. So they did have some very big wins, for example, in the off-year elections in Virginia, in New Jersey. The mayoral race in Miami, which a Democrat hasn't won in 30 years. So they are feeling emboldened. All of those candidates, Savannah, won on a message of affordability. And I think one of the big tests and one of the big challenges for Democrats is going to be, can they and will they stay focused on affordability, or will they also take aim at President Trump? How do they combine those two messages? And I think that's going to be one of the aspects that we'll be watching very closely for. By the way, 53% say they disapprove of Democrats and have an unfavorable view of them. So they're heading into the midterms with those headwinds as well.
President Trump is planning to hit the road and campaign like it's 2024, according to his chief of staff, going to make it like a presidential year.
Absolutely. We've already seen him wind up the year hitting the trail in some battleground states. We're going to see a lot more in the new year.